This is episode 110. Welcome to Wellness in Every Season, the podcast where we explore the rich tapestry of wellness in all of its forms. I'm your host, Autumn Carter, a certified life coach turned wellness coach, as well as a certified parenting coach dedicated to empowering others to rediscover their identity in their current season of life. My goal is to help you thrive both as an individual and as a parent. We are going to be talking about questioning who you are and redefining what that path looks like. Because we can redefine it at any age. Sometimes we can be so stuck that we're not willing to change directions or maybe back up and try again. I think about this a lot. At least I have been lately while writing this episode and coming up with ideas and just meditating on this. I've tried writing this for several weeks and have had to set it aside and really live it. And I only have it partially written, so I can let this be a little bit more off script and what you guys need. But yesterday in particular, I was thinking while backing up that there are many times where I love backing up because I have a van before kids. It's just easier to pull out while they're talking and demanding snacks and all the things. But if I did not have my guides, it would be a very different story. I'm not very good at backing up without the camera and the mirrors that automatically shift down a little bit. I love the world that we live in, that we have cars that have these attached to them if they're a certain age. If we pull forward a little bit and then we try backing up again, it makes all the difference. That's really what we're talking about, is how do we need to change directions? What does that look like? Just having that reflective moment. And this is important because sometimes we have these dreams that are so big and they feel like they are our life purpose, but they feel out of reach. And they feel so out of reach that we don't even try. And maybe we're feeling like it's because we didn't start early enough in our life and we're already past whatever we think the prime is. And in here, I can insert all the names of all the people who've done amazing things outside of their quote unquote prime. We all know them. That's the truth. But what matters is if you believe, and I'm hoping at the end of this that you will believe, that it's never too late to rewrite your own story. What's amazing is through therapies, through hypnosis therapy too, EMDR, all the different therapies that are out there, you can rewrite your beliefs about your childhood. So why can't, and this was a time when you didn't have as much control. So if you can do that, why can't you rewrite your beliefs right now, who you are right now? I was originally going to talk about the Olympics and all the people who have gone into the Olympics later in life and how amazing that is. And the names I came up with, I didn't even know. We're not going to go there. We've all experienced that. We've all had a little bit of that envy. And in a book that I was reading, I really loved what it talked about. How do people become great in their profession, whatever their profession is? They work really hard, right? And we can have these moments where we are envious of what they've obtained. But are we really envious of the trials and everything else that led them there? So there's something to think about with that. Is if this is your purpose and your dream, and it's a big dream, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to burn everything down and start over again? Realign. Sometimes it's small shifts, sometimes it's big shifts. One thing that we can talk about is when we are questioning our identity, we can think of it as an identity crisis. But what if we think about it instead as an opportunity? We have it be a chance to align with our values. We give ourselves the courage to pivot. If we are taking those chances to pivot and to make sure that we are authentic, meaning that we are purely ourselves, not people-pleasing, not projecting, not whatever, insert the words. If we are being truly ourselves because we are that unique shade in the crayon box and we are striving to fulfill our destiny that is uniquely ours and be in line with our unique life, that is part of wellness here, right? But sometimes we can feel stuck and uncertain and in need of guidance, and we aren't sure what our dream is sometimes. I am dealing with in my own personal life. I'm working with my coach and talking to her yesterday. I know that I have this really big roadblock, but my problem is I don't know exactly what it is. And it feels like this iceberg, and I can sometimes see glimpses of it, but I can't quite get the color or the texture. So I can't even figure out the whole, like all of what the rest of that iceberg is. Have any of you all felt that way? For me, I know once I overcome this that I will catapult myself forward in so many of my goals. But sometimes it's hard to get there. We know what our dream is, or sometimes we don't know what our dream is, but getting there can be hard. So I want to talk about for a minute the weight of an unfulfilled purpose. Welcome. Are you craving moments that nourish both your soul and family amidst the blur of daily tasks? I understand that desire for a life that brings peace, balance, and joy, not just endless to-dos. That's why I created a range of programs at Wellness in Every Season to help you transform daily routines into meaningful experiences. Recently, I've launched a variety of offerings designed for busy, budget-conscious individuals, some free and others starting at just $7. Many can be completed in a few minutes or hours, while others dive deeper into exploring your dreams, desires, and unique strengths. These programs focus on practical self-care, creating equity in your home, and building trust with yourself. Imagine stepping into your day with confidence and ease, feeling supported by a community on a similar path. Whether you're looking to reclaim time, pursue your dream job, or simply find joy in the little moments, there's something here for you. All resources are available on demand at wellnessinEverySeason.com. You can also book private coaching sessions for more personalized support on your journey. How many of us know people who at the end of their life still never fulfilled what they felt like they were called on earth to do? Sometimes it's because they've been full of so much trauma from their childhood that they haven't been able to overcome it, or have had catastrophic things happen. And we do have those things happening today. We can change those by changing ourselves. With that, we can have this restlessness, this feeling for something more, this ache, this constant whispering that you are not where you are supposed to be. And sometimes that can be hard because financially, we are in a really good, comfortable place, but we're not feeling fulfilled. We hate what we're doing. We hate our job. We hate our lifestyle. We hate where we live. You just feel unsettled. And it can be hard to change that if we know that there's going to be discomfort and we don't know exactly what that discomfort is going to look like. Or if we know we are going to be completely changing things for our family when it doesn't just affect ourselves. Or if we know that we are changing where we're at financially and it's going to become unstable, and we're not sure how long it's going to become unstable. So we might get stuck just going through the motions, robotic. We've all had that. Those robotic moments in our lives. Sometimes they last longer than a moment, but hopefully we live long enough that when we look back, it is just a moment. And let's talk about how these can manifest. Sometimes it could be a subtle sadness that creeps in when you least expect it, or a frustration that bubbles up when you see others living with passion and purpose. That's more my style. Or it might be a sense of numbness where you've silenced that inner voice for so long that you barely notice it anymore. I've had that with certain things because of childhood trauma, and it can happen until a quiet moment brings it rushing back. Maybe you have moments where you wonder, is this all there is? We've all had that over certain things, I hope. And then we have that moment of, I'm choosing more, and then we are able to propel ourselves forward. We can have moments of disconnect. I know different people who've had this that I've coached within my personal life that I've come across where they just feel discontent with everything. There's one person in mind that he very much feels this in all aspects of his life. And because he's not a coaching client, I can't coach him on this. I told my husband, because he has a closer relationship, can you do something about that? Because it's bothering me. My husband's, you need to realize that you are in such an area where you are all about self-help and really working on yourself, that when you see others that aren't, it bothers you, but let them be. Try and take a breath with that one. And here's something to remember with the discontent. That doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It means something inside of you is calling for alignment. I love that word, alignment. It's something that I've really been focusing on within my body. So hopefully I can work on my posture. But when I feel aligned physically, I feel like I'm aligned in a lot of other ways. Think about that. Or my van, for some reason, goes out of alignment easily. You think I'm a crazy driver. I'm not. And the roads aren't really bad here. But maybe it's just a vehicle that I have. Anyway, it goes out of alignment easily. And I can definitely tell that it's happening when I am parking forward facing. There's no guides there. And I have the steering wheel in the right position, and I walk out of my van and I'm like, that is not straight at all. And I'll try again. Okay, I got enough sleep, because when I don't have enough sleep, I park terrible. Okay. And then I'll try it parking backwards. And okay. And I'll see what the guides and what the steering wheel is doing. Okay, it's time to get it in and get it checked. What does that look like for us? That's that feeling of discontent. That's that feeling of overwhelm. That's that feeling of not being satisfied, similar to discontent. It can be that feeling. There's so many feelings, and they can lead to self-doubt, and then they can lead to guilt of not achieving our potential, guilt of switching things up for everybody in our family or our village, however you want to think of it. And it can be really hard, and it can feel like it's selfish. But what if it's not selfish? What if it's selfish to stay where you're at instead? What if you living with your purpose gives others their permission to do the same, and it allows us to receive the things into our lives that will help us bless other people? Here's something really can be profound to think about, is that we are still growing and developing and evolving. Think of it like a masterpiece. You are a masterpiece. You are amazing just the way you are to start with. And because we have hopefully many more decades left to live, we continue to evolve and keep rewriting, repainting, adding more into this work of art that is us. How amazing would that look in the end? If you are having any of these whisperings, feeling like you're not there, let me start by saying you're not alone, and that so many people carry this weight. I know people who have retired, and it's been decades since they retired, and they're still saying they don't know what they want to do when they grow up. They don't know what they want to do with the rest of their life. They're at the end of their career and they're saying, I want a new career. I don't know what I want to do. I know my pickleball coach. If you don't know, I just started pickleball, very beginner. My husband started with me and he's already intermediate. Somewhat annoyed about it, but he played tennis in PE and I did weightlifting. I know better form than he does, whatever. Anyway, my pickleball coach, he has an amazing story. I would love to chat with him more about it. He gave his story just as the intro in the class, and he had a whole career. He retired and then he got into pickleball, and pickleball has become his second career. And I'm pretty sure he's in his 80s. If he listens to this and he's not, I'm sorry. But it fulfills him. He spends so much time doing it. He tells me that he's hardly ever home. He would like another dog, but his wife does not, and he doesn't want to pressure his wife because she'd be the one in charge of the dog because he's hardly ever home. He's traveling all over to teach people about pickleball and to sell different equipment, and it's become his passion, his lifeblood, and that was after his career. It's never too late is the whole point of this. And if you have those feelings, or if you don't now and you do later, this is something to come back to. Or you know anyone who has that, where they feel perpetually dissatisfied and they're not sure why. This is what we're talking about. And sometimes the voices of our discontent can be loud, and sometimes they're soft. That's the hard part. And sometimes, I don't know if you've had this, I get this answer and it always frustrates me when I get it, because my answer is, this is coming on the horizon, but it's not time yet. Or when I'm like, yes, this feels like the right path. I'm driven. I want to do this. And it's not the time yet. Just bottle that up for now. I know I'm not the only one who gets that answer, but I'm the person who finds that super frustrating, and that's something that I'm still learning and growing on. So let's talk about the power of small adjustments for a second. The idea of change can be overwhelming, and it can be so hard to do it alone. The statistics of how many people create a New Year's goal, and your New Year can be January, it could be when school starts, it could be when you graduate, it can be when you start a new job, it can be when your children are out of diapers, your new year, not by the calendar. But so many people start their goal and weeks later, not months, weeks later, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks. It's a huge percentage of people who lose momentum and they just forget about it. They keep doing this and then they keep losing that sense of trust in themselves, that sense of security, that sense of faith in themselves that they can do hard things. So right now I want to talk about the power of small adjustments that can help you along the way and thinking about taking small steps along with that. When you recognize that you are meant for something more, the idea of change can feel overwhelming, especially when it seems like a massive leap from where you are now to where you want to be. And here's the truth about it. You don't have to change everything overnight. Often, the most profound transformations come from small, consistent adjustments rather than sudden, drastic shifts. My husband, he has his private pilot's license and he loves airplanes, obviously. The thing about airplanes, to get from where you are to where you want to be, you can be only a little bit off and you can think of it that way. But what if you think about it the other way? It only takes micro adjustments when you're off track to get where you want to be, where you are supposed to be. And along with that, there are things in our life that can look like insurmountable obstacles that are meant to cause us to pause and decide, is this the mountain I want to climb or hike around? Or is this other thing that feels like it fell into my lap and feels more aligned where I should be? Small shifts in your daily habits, mindset, and choices can redirect your path in ways that over time lead to significant and meaningful changes. Instead of pressuring yourself to make a bold leap, in church, somebody gave a talk and he was talking about his dad. And instead of making SMART goals, he makes, they were big, hairy goals, BHGs. And he talked about how his dad decided to run, I think it was a marathon, and he did not train for it. So he decided to do it, being out of shape, and he blew out his knee. And he's still struggling with it. And he gave other examples with his dad. And he talked about how he learned not to do that from watching his dad. You don't need to make these bold leaps. You make these goals and then you break them down into something that is small. It can be not even baby steps. It can be little kitten steps. They have much smaller legs and smaller footsteps. And maybe they'll be cute like kittens, but it's about making one small shift today and realigning yourself every day. In 2 weeks from now, I created an episode that is all about, I actually created it for me to start with. And then I decided I was going to have it be a bonus in my digital vision board course. And then I realized, why not share with everybody? So I'm sharing it with you. But it is a mindfulness practice for the morning that includes visualization, and it is centered around the 8 dimensions of wellness. And the reason why this was important for me on my own journey is it's making sure that I'm aligned in the morning. And then what's coming up 2 weeks after that is the evening one, to make sure to reset yourself at the end of the day. Okay, this is what I did well. This is what I want to do better, that type of thing. And dial it in. Or if you think about the instruments, realigning. As you can tell, I don't know as much about airplanes as my husband. He still loves me, so it works. But that longing that you feel is not just restlessness. It's a compass, going back to the airplane analogy, pointing you toward the adjustments you need to make. Pay attention to it. Trust it, because it's trusting your intuition. Trust who you are, like in all the the spaces of your body. Allow yourself the space to explore what even the smallest step in the right direction could look like for you. And that's what that meditation's for. Let's talk about practical ways to identify and implement these small but powerful changes in your life. So recognizing that you are meant for something more is the first step. But what do you do next? The idea of change can feel overwhelming, especially when it seems like a massive leap from where you are now to where you want to be. But you don't have to change everything overnight. I already said that. But I want to repeat that because it's important. We forget that. Since I'm looking at the time and realize we're getting near the end. I designed a mindfulness practice that is all around this. And this is something, as I'm making changes within my podcast and trying to dial in and make sure that it's more authentic, I want to make sure you have this for you. We're going to talk about aligning with small shifts. So please find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Let go of any tension in your body and allow yourself to be present in this moment. Keep taking those big, deep breaths in and out. And make sure that the out is fully out. That's one thing that I am working on within my own practices with breathing. So I breathe in deeply, but I don't breathe out all the way. So make sure you do. Paying attention to your breath, feeling the inhale and exhale. As you settle into stillness, ask yourself, where in my life do I feel a longing for something more? Allow any thoughts or emotions to surface without judgment. That's the key. And let's visualize small adjustments. Imagine yourself as the airplane, not the pilot, but the airplane, gently adjusting your course. Visualize a small shift. One tiny action you could take today that moves you closer to alignment with your true purpose. What is your big dream? Where are you at right now in relation to your dream? What is one small step you can take to get you to your dream? And I'm going to have these be the coaching questions as well. Who do you need to help get you there to your dream? What do you need in general? And let's do some affirmations along with this. So as you breathe in, affirm to yourself, I am open to small, meaningful changes. I am worth fulfilling my dream. I am worth fulfilling my true and full potential. The thing is, when we give ourselves this permission, we give it to others as well. Anyway, we had on a movie for the kids, and Bonnie Hunt was speaking in the movie, and they were talking about how they settled. And they were trying to talk Judy into settling as well, like they did. If we are living our full potential, then we aren't encouraging others to give up and to settle. We don't need to settle. That's not what this life is about. Let's reach for that full potential. Reach for the high-hanging fruit, not just the low-hanging fruit. Imagine that happening for you. Imagine yourself. Visualize yourself reaching. Say or do whatever you need to do to close out this practice for yourself. Bat your eyelids open. Hi. Welcome back. I want you to spend time journaling about what revelations came to you during this episode. I want you to know that you are worth all of this and so much more as we strive to be as aligned with our true selves and aligned with all the dimensions, 8 dimensions of wellness. We will then be that example for other people. We will have that glow that other people want. And we will be encouraging that with other people. Next week, let me tell you what is going on next week. Next week, I'm very excited for this one. We are talking about how to have pain relief without the pills. And this was a really fun conversation, and it's got me thinking about how to apply that more to my life. I am not somebody who likes taking medicines. I get stopped up very easily if I'm on any heavy narcotics, so I cut them out as quickly as possible after surgeries or any major things where I am given that prescription. Oftentimes, I refuse the prescription. I really don't like taking medicines because there's side effects. This very much aligned with me, and I know so many people who are addicted to heavy painkillers and not because they want to be. This episode is for you and for your loved ones. I will see you there. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I am your host, Autumn Carter, a certified life coach dedicated to empowering individuals to rediscover their identity, find balance amidst chaos, strengthen relationships, and pursue their dreams. My goal is to help people thrive in every aspect of their lives. I hope today's discussion inspired you and offered valuable insights. Stay engaged with our wellness community by signing up for my newsletter at wellnessineveryseason.com/free resources. When you join, you'll have the option to receive a 5-day guide called Awaken and Unwind. 5 days to mastering your mornings and evenings, along with free guides, special offers on my programs, practical tips, personal stories, and much more, all related to wellness. By signing up for both offers on the page. Don't miss out on these valuable resources designed to help you thrive in every area of wellness. Join today and start your journey to wellness in every season. Your shares, subscriptions, and reviews help us reach more people seeking empowerment. So please spread the word about our podcast and about our newsletter. Thank you for being a part of our podcast community. I look forward to continuing our conversation, sharing stories, and exploring wellness in all of its aspects. Take care until our next episode. You can also work with me one-on-one or on demand through one of my programs by visiting wellnessinneveryseason.com/programs. One last thing to cover the show legally. I am a certified life coach giving general advice. So think of this more as a self-help book. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, so this podcast shouldn't be taken as a replacement for professional guidance from a doctor or therapist. If you want personal one-on-one coaching from a certified life and parenting coach, go to my website, wellnessinneveryseason.com. That's where you can get personalized coaching from me for you. See you in next week's episode. One last thing to cover this show legally. I am a certified life coach giving general advice. So think of this more like a self-help book. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, so this podcast shouldn't be taken as a replacement for professional guidance from a doctor, therapist, or any other qualified expert. If you want personal one-on-one coaching from a certified coach, go to my website at wellnessinneveryseason.com. That's where you can get personalized coaching from me. See you in next week's episode.